up, I was reminded I was a girl at various junctures. A gender that cannot have all the freedom my brother, the male gender, might have. Despite being confident about me, the various societal norms and safety concerns kept my parents on their toes. But they never gave up their faith in me, never stopped me to go after my dreams, and till today have never ever doubted me in some of the most difficult and crucial decisions I took in my life. I'm grateful to have parents like them. My name is Annie, and I host Afternoons with Annie on 94.3 Radio 1. But not all women or girls are as lucky. They've had innumerable limitations to fight for in their lives. Gender inequality, patriarchy, sexism, classism, misogyny. It's an exhaustive list. Over the past few decades, though, we've seen the community of women become stronger, driving their lives with clear direction and ambition in sight, building a world with new ideas, bigger businesses, and breaking every societal norm. Today, at HealthShots and 94.3 Radio 1, we choose to recognize this new breed of women who are changing the narrative in India. Audrey Hepburn, the Oscar-winning actress, once said, "I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. And I believe that tomorrow is another day. I believe in miracles." I'm proud to present the She Slays Awards to women achievers who've dared to dream.
Our next jury member is a veteran in the evolving world of beauty. As a pioneer of aromatherapy in India, Blossom Kochhar has been a name to reckon with in the skin, hair and wellness space.
The concept of beauty has changed over time, and that has helped women to break the bias. Before, it used to be that everyone wanted to be fair. Fair was the one word that they all wanted to be. But now it has changed. Now they are going more into the texture of their skin. The color doesn't matter, the texture, the complexion has to look good. It has to be glowing. So that is one very big thing that has helped the women. The other thing that has hindered a woman is this body shaming that used to be there. They had to be a certain measurement that they had to be, a certain kind that they had to be, and that was really very difficult, and that caused a lot of psychological problems. For example, there used to be bulimia, there used to be a whole lot, and they didn't have confidence, which is something that they really needed, and they used to really be ashamed of how they dressed, what they did, and how they went about it. And also all these fad diets that came out, and it was very, very harmful for the health of a woman. The next thing and the most important thing is, I feel nowadays they've gone into holistic beauty. No more has to do with a lot of makeup, with the hair done in a certain way, dressing in a certain way. Now they go more for holistic beauty, where the inner person comes through. The inner person gives them confidence. It's a body, mind, emotion, and that is really helping them. You can see that glow on their face, and the confidence and the way they carry themselves, and that air of beauty that they have. So that is the big change that there is in beauty now. I am happy and proud to be part of the She Slays Awards jury. Women who break the bias need to be encouraged because they can also empower others. Thank you, HealthShots and 94.3 Radio 1 International for this initiative.
She breaks the bias piece by piece by demystifying the Kama Sutra. She empowers you to explore the power of pleasure. Author and storyteller Seema Anand is one of our spotlight stars. Come, let's watch how she slays. Over to you, Nikita.
The three-letter word is frowned upon, considered taboo, and people who talked about it are literally shamed in public. Yes, we are talking about sex, baby. Sex is obviously an untouched subject. But thanks to social media and some really gutsy women who has brought it to the mainstream. And today we are interviewing one of those bold and beautiful women who speaks her heart when it comes to sex and pleasure. Guys, please help me welcome none other than Miss Seema Anand. Hello ma'am and welcome to HealthShots.
Thank you so much, Nikita. It's lovely to be with you.
Thank you so much. So first thing ma'am, and I think आपसे ये question बहुत लोगों ने हमेशा पूछा होगा, that why to talk about sex and pleasure? So what is your response to them?
So the thing is, Nikita, I started my work a long time ago with storytelling, with mythologies, क्योंकि मैं ये definitely believe करती हूँ कि the stories that we tell, उन stories से हमारी identity बनती है. That is how we define our space in society. So जब लोग जाके कहानी बताते हैं कि आदमी आता है घर, उसने पी रखी है, वो अपने बीवी को बहुत मारता है, but she's so good, वो देवी समान है, कभी कुछ नहीं कहती, कभी she's so good. Then that's our identity of a good woman.
Yeah.
That establishes the story. So I always have been interested कि किस तरह की हम कहानियाँ बताते हैं. What are the stories we tell? What are the stories that we've silenced? And from that, how we have created the identity of women particularly. And over time, I realized that we never ever talked about stories where a woman has the right to her own body or her own pleasure.
You have been vociferous about, sex and pleasure and how important it is. So why do you think that this is basically the high time that we should, come out and talk about it and, basically create that awareness?
It's always been high time, and over the centuries, many, many women have fought this battle. They fight the battle, फिर थोड़ी देर के बाद some of them make a little bit of an impact, then it settles down again. Even where we are today, with the rights that we have finally managed to get, even this started with somebody many years ago. Even the fact that I have the right to talk and to be out there and be seen, that right was paved for me by somebody else. I think it's always the time to talk about women's rights, because अगर हम नहीं इसके बारे बात करेंगे तो और कोई नहीं करेगा. Pandit Nehru made a statement when we were heading up to independence, and he said in one of his speeches, he said to the women, he said, if you want to fight for your rights, you will actually have to fight for them. Nobody is going to give them to you on a platter. ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ in history that an oppressor has said, here are all your rights, go, be free. Never has that happened. You've got to fight for them. So in my mind, it is always the time to stand up for your rights and fight for them. I started this battle a long time ago. I find more and more people are joining in now, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, I think every woman in her lifetime makes some change, every woman. And some are visible, some aren't, some are big, some are smaller, but everyone makes a change. And yeah, it all adds up, thoda thoda karke.
So ma'am, now what I want to ask you too is that do you really think that women even today deal with sexual biases?
Of course, oh my God, constantly. There is a sexual bias against everything. If you've noticed, if you ever go onto anybody's account on social media, it's there to be seen. There is so much bias, there's so much restriction, there's so much control, there's so much abuse around it. And basically, it is that point where I feel that the fight from the side of the women is getting stronger. There are more people coming together to do this. And hence, it's starting to make an impact on that balance. And therefore, the pushback is more. So biases तो बहुत हैं, like first you're told कि no, you cannot think about sex and sexuality at this point because you're too young. Then you get married. Now, whether you know your husband or not, it's an arranged marriage. आज से तुम्हारी शादी हुई है. From today, you have to be a goddess in bed. You have to be perfect, whether you know anything about it or not. And you're not, oh my God, you don't like sex, you're not enjoying it with him, something is wrong with you. Then you move further and you have a child, and then you're told, Arey, abhi to tumhara bacha hua hai, what's wrong with you? Why are you interested in sex? This is the wrong thing to be talking about. By the time you get to your 40s, you've got grown-up children. Are you not ashamed? Are you not embarrassed that your kids will be thinking about this? You get to my age, so you're told. I get constantly told, okay, ठरकी बुढ़िया, what are you doing? अभी तो तुम्हारी पाठ पूजा का टाइम आ गया. अरे जवानी में पाठ पूजा नहीं कर सकते क्या? मैं तो सारी जिंदगी I've been doing my prayers. There's no reason for me to only start when my hair go gray. So biases are unbelievable. I mean, I've just done a collab where there was this guy on one of the channels saying brown girls are like this, and then he goes on to say कि हाँ मुझे लड़की चाहिए, पहले तो सुंदर होनी चाहिए और फिर ऐसी होनी चाहिए कि वो मेरे फ्रेंड्स को मेरे सब फ्रेंड्स को रिस्पेक्ट करे, और अगर मेरे फ्रेंड्स कहेंगे कि इसके साथ नहीं रहो तो मैं तो छोड़ दूंगा क्योंकि मेरे दोस्त पहले आते हैं. Like, where do you even begin to talk about the biases that we face? It's like I said, nobody else is going to take them away. They are our battle to deal with.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, do you think there are certain ways that can, help us to break these biases?
I think the first thing is literally to come to an understanding of your own body, of your own pleasure. I have to tell you, Nikita, that even though I come from a very forward-thinking family, from a very emancipated family, these are things that, that they're put on you by society. So no matter what your family is like, it's the society around you that makes you think about yourself in a certain way. You grow up with certain insecurities. You believe what you are being told because everyone around you is saying those things. And so, when we come to this point of understanding ourselves, I found this with myself, that the day that I understood that I am a complete human being who has this Shakti called pleasure. Pleasure is a Shakti, that I have it in me, that I feel it a certain way. I don't have to feel it the way that you say I have to. That a woman should only have an orgasm at the same time that her husband comes, and that's the right thing for her to do, that she should only feel pleasure in a certain way because that's what we're told. The moment you get past that, you understand that in yourself, it's the most liberating thing. I can tell you from personal experience that it truly is. It's that one moment when the penny suddenly drops and suddenly there's a calmness inside you and you realize, okay, I'm okay. Till now, all these insecurities that you carry, all these myths about yourself that you carry, it's all just nonsense. You are a human being, you're normal, and whichever way you choose to think about your pleasure is okay, and you have the right to feel it.
So, I am sure that your journey has been really, really interesting, but of course, there must have been some challenges there. So, what are the major challenges that you have faced while being a content creator?
When I first started with my work on this particular subject, on the subject of pleasure, on the subject of sexuality, I had a lot of obstacles on the way. So my first obstacle is my husband, who is a typical Punjabi male, who thought, "Ye kya kar rahe ho? How dare you talk about this?" And I have to give him credit for the fact that he has since then been very supportive. But yeah, the initial reaction was very difficult. My mother-in-law has been a huge supporter of mine. The rest of my in-laws were not particularly impressed with my work and are still, I have to say, rather embarrassed to talk about it. My mother-in-law is a sweetheart. She's now 94 years old and she doesn't remember a lot. She loves reading. So she reads my book constantly. Then she forgets that she's read it. Then she'll read it again. And then she'll ring me up and say, "Sita, that was very well written." It's so cute. I don't know how many times she's read it because she forgets that she's read it. I lost a lot of friends, best friends, who pushed away from me because they said, "We don't like the fact that you're talking about this." There was a lot of bitching. There's a lot of nastiness that came in the way. I was dropped from certain projects that I was on initially. And I think my biggest support in this, I have to say, aside from my mother-in-law, who's a darling, have been my 3 children. They've just stood by me through thick and thin. And over time, yes, the problems have been ironed out. Now it's mostly just from outside trolls, the abuse, the nastiness. But yeah, it was not an easy journey. Also, that was, of course, on a personal side. On the academic side, because I wanted to actually study it to see what we were talking about. I don't just want to be talking randomly about pleasure and sexuality. I wanted to go back to what the texts, our ancient literature talks about. There are very few scholars on the subject. It's been a challenge even on that level.
Well, I would like to say, first of all, more power to your mother-in-law. And I think this is also kind of breaking a bias, because eventually mother-in-laws have a typical image. But yeah, thanks to your mother-in-law who has supported you in this. So, ma'am, now I want to ask you something that when it comes to sex, maybe not now, but earlier it was always, connected with reproduction. But, why do you think ये बहुत ज़रूरी हो गया है कि अब women ये भी जाने कि it is not just about reproduction or producing babies, but it is also about pleasure, feeling good about yourself.
I think that it is really important to understand that pleasure is a very important part of sex, because for most women, it becomes a chore after a while. जब sex बहुत boring हो जाता है with your partner, with your long-term partner, and your pleasure is never thought of, you stop. You don't want to do this anymore. And when you don't want to do this anymore, it creates a little darar. It creates a little separation in that relationship. I'm not saying that intimacy is the only thing that keeps a relationship together, but I think it's a very important part of it. A woman will not want to be part of a sexual act for her entire life if she's going to be bored with it, if she finds it painful, if she finds कि क्या यार, I mean, मेरे लिए इसमें क्या है, like I just have to lie over here, ठीक है तुमने खत्म किया, you move on. But I'll tell you why the ancients thought it was very important. और फिर तुम अंदाजा लगाओ कि whether you think it is or not. Now, most people think कि एक काम सूत्र है पुराने ज़माने की. एक नहीं है, हजारों की संख्या में लिखी गई थी. There were thousands written because every king who came to the throne at any time had a version written, because they said कि अगर एक couple में बहुत अच्छी intimacy, a mutually pleasurable intimacy होगी, that relationship will be stable. That will be a good, strong, stable relationship. Agar every relationship is stable, society will become stable. If society is stable, the kingdom will be stable. So imagine they say that the well-being of the entire kingdom depends on the pleasure of a woman. I totally agree.
So this brings me to my next question, ma'am, that I have read many of your interviews and you have mentioned one thing बहुत बार कि world desperately needs Kama Sutra. Why do you think? आपको ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि that दुनिया को इस चीज की बहुत desperately जरूरत है?
It's the only text that I can find in the world that talks about pleasure in the way that it does. The Kama Sutra says that the society who looks at a woman's pleasure in this way as something beautiful, as something essential, will be the most refined society of all. So it was actually trying to create a very refined, very civilized society. And I think, if for nothing else, that itself gives it all the tick marks in my book. The other thing is that it actually points out something that even till today we don't understand, is that a man's and a woman's sexuality is completely different. And that coming together and penetrative sex is not going to bring about the pleasure and the orgasms that we're talking about, that our sexuality is very different, our desires are different, our arousal is very different. And this has to be mutually pleasurable. So how do you actually work towards that mutual pleasure? Most people think it's a book about positions, which we all know by now that that is not the case. But what's even more interesting, what people don't know is that, people constantly write and say they're worried about their size. So a lot of men are like, I'm too big or I'm too small. And would it matter if I'm too small or I'm too thin? A lot of women have this thing about, my vagina is too loose, my vagina is too tight. The positions were created to make sure that the sexual organs could be synchronized. Because again, it says that if sex should only be had for pleasure, the first prerequisite to pleasure is that the sexual organs should be of the same size. They should synchronize. But ये तो आप पहले, before coming together, ये जाके आप तय नहीं कर सकते. You can't really go and measure each other and say कि हाँ, आपका size ठीक है, आप मेरे लिए बिल्कुल ठीक रहेंगे. So it has to be that you come together as two people, and then the positions are created to make sure that if there is a difference in size, that can be synchronized. So if the man is very short and the woman, the vagina is anyway a much deeper organ, then there were certain positions given for that. If the man is too thin and the woman is much bigger, there are certain positions given for that so that she can make her vagina a bit smaller. If she is too small, he is too big, then different positions were given for that. So there is no other text that I have come across that deals with this in so much detail and with so much care. And I think what really tops it for me, if you look at, there's a lot of books that were written subsequently in the West. They were written by clinicians, so they were written by doctors, and they're very clinical, very sanitized books with all the clinical terms in it and things. None of them talk about pleasure. The Kama Sutra focuses on the idea of pleasure.
After knowing all this, of course, I also have this presumption. I haven't read it. And I know the people who are around me, they also must have not read it. But everybody has it's a book on sex and nothing else. But now after you have, educated me about it, and I think mere saath you have educated so many more people to know that it is not just about sex, it's beyond. So, ma'am, you have also mentioned the trolling, and of course, social media jahan hai, opinions hai wahan, and then trolling is of course the biggest villain out there. So, ma'am, I want to ask you कि जो ये trolls आपको comments या messages करते हैं, how do you really deal with them? Because they are actually very vicious.
They are very vicious, and in the beginning, it used to bother me tremendously. So I would actually feel really low for a couple of days. I think over time, you learn to deal with it. One is that you learn that a lot of them come at you simply because that's their job. So, I mean, there are actually cells that have been created where people are employed to be professional trolls. So you know that it's not personal, they're out there to get everybody. Pick the guy who is abusing me and start responding to him. I'm sorry, not going to bother with you. I want to focus on the people who are sending me love.
Perfect. So a lot of comments you get, a lot of DMs you must get on your social media platform. Do you remember कोई ऐसा weird advice, suggestion या comment, can be funny as well, that you have got on your social media platform that you would like to share with us?
When you talk about vicious, it's beyond vicious. You actually do get past that idea of worrying about them too much. Then you even get to a point where you can laugh at them. Well, I did a reel recently on one that I got. Yes, there's a lot of very strange comments that come, but like I said, I did a reel recently on one that I really was blown away by. There's somebody who said कि sex के through BP और sugar भी फैल सकता है क्या? Okay, so my first reaction was to giggle like mad. Then I just thought, actually, this is very sad because imagine how taboo we have made this subject. We give people no education. And it's a natural worry. हम कह रहे हैं कि STIs फैल सकती हैं. So, sexually transmitted diseases फैल सकती हैं आपके through unprotected sex. So, yeah, why not BP and sugar? I have to say,
I would like you to give one advice to all the viewers who are watching this interview today about sex and pleasure.
So I think the first thing we have to do, and it's always my first suggestion, is to accept it in your own mind. For most of us, it's here that the problem is. It's in our head. It's here that we believe that it's a bad thing. We've been taught that it's a sin. We've been taught to feel guilty about it. We were taught when we were growing up that only fast girls enjoy sex. So you can have sex, especially, if you are now married and this thing, but you'll only enjoy it if you're fast. So your first step that you have to take is just in your head to acknowledge that you feel pleasure. It is your right to feel pleasure. It is the most human instinct. It's the most human thing that you can do is to feel pleasure. God gave you that ability to feel it. Your body was created to feel pleasure. So when you think about it in your head, give yourself permission to think about it. Don't feel guilty about it. Just start in your own head. You don't have to say anything to anybody outside. Feel happy when you feel the pleasure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This conversation was actually a pleasure to have with you. So on that note, I wish you all the very best. More power to you. Please keep creating content like this, and we really, really a big fan.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There you go, ladies. You have heard it from the woman herself that sex is not a sin, and we all deserve pleasure. So listen to your heart and keep breaking the bias.
Our very first category, the body positivity icon. Big, sassy, sexy, that's her. She was bullied all her life for her weight. Hell, her family didn't shy away from reminding her that she may be a misfit. Moving forward, she decided not to let the bullying get to her. She decided to fight back by making a glamorous point. She became India's first plus-size body-positive model. She is Sakshi Sindhwani, inspiring thousands of young girls and women to embrace their body and therefore themselves. Today, for the hearts she's touched, for the community of confidence and positivity she's building, slaying it along the way, Sakshi wins the She Slays Award on HealthShots in association with 94.3 Radio 1.
Hi guys, this is Sakshi Sindhwani, also known as Style Me Up with Sakshi on the internet. Thank you so much, HealthShots, for giving me the absolute honor for winning the She Slays Award. I'm so very grateful and so thankful to the entire team for recognizing my work. I started my Instagram journey in 2019 with the hopes of creating one fashion video every single day for the next 365 days, and also trying to change the fashion industry for good when it comes to inclusivity and diversity. Ultimately, break the bias. I really wanted to break the bias, the stereotype when it comes to how people see bigger women or curvier women in the fashion industry. And thankfully, we're on the right track. I think we've successfully been able to create a lot of change and a lot of conversation and a lot of noise in the industry for good, but still such a long way to go. And I'm so thankful for this award because that only means that it's reaching the right people. And you know what, I'm winning every single day because I have a community that supports me, supports the cause that I stand for every single day without a fail. And the messages I receive from women and men and everything in between, it truly warms my heart every single day. And yeah, thank you so much for the award. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.
को एक बहुत सॉफ्ट सा क्षेत्र समझा जाता है, पर यही विधा जब स्त्रियों के संघर्ष, समाज में उनकी उपस्थिति और अपेक्षाओं से एकाकार हो जाती है, तब वह मालिनी अवस्थी जैसी एक बड़ी शख्सियत के रूप में हम सब के सामने आती है। HealthShots और रेडियो 1 के साझा आयोजन शी स्लेज अवार्ड की ज्यूरी हैं मालिनी अवस्थी। चाहे मतदान के प्रति जागरूकता जगाना हो या सेहत के अपने निजी मोर्चों पर मुकाबला करना, पद्मश्री मालिनी अवस्थी एक सच्ची योद्धा की तरह सबको पार करती जाती हैं।
मुझे लगता है कि महिलाओं के लिए जो एक फिजिकल से भी ज्यादा मुझे लगता है मेंटल हेल्थ इतनी बड़ी चुनौती है, क्योंकि उस मेंटल हेल्थ की वजह से कितनी फिजिकल एबनॉर्मलिटीज, डिफॉर्मिटीज जो है वो सब डेवलप होती हैं, क्योंकि जो साइकोलॉजिकल इम्पैक्ट है महिलाओं पे, हार्मोनल, चाहे वो पोस्ट डिलीवरी डिप्रेशन हो, पोस्ट एबॉर्टिव डिप्रेशन हो या मैरिटल प्रॉब्लम्स के डिप्रेशंस हो, तो ये मुझे लगता है ये एक बहुत बहुत बड़ी एक बात है जिस पर कोई बात नहीं करता है आज के समय में। लेकिन बहुत खुशी है, फिल्म्स बन रही हैं, इस पे लोग खुल करके बात कर रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना के एक पारंपरिक परिवार की लड़की जब अपने सपनों की राह पर निकल पड़ती है तो दुनिया उसके लिए छोटी हो जाती है। यही साबित कर दिखाया है मिस इंडिया वर्ल्ड के लिए भारत का प्रतिनिधित्व करने वाली मानसा वाराणसी ने। एक फाइनेंस एनालिसिस से लेकर मिस इंडिया वर्ल्ड तक का ये सफर किन अवरोधों को पार करता हुआ आगे बढ़ा है, आइए जानते हैं खुद मानसा से। उनसे बात कर रही हैं मेरी साथी ऐश्वर्या कुलश्रेष्ठ।
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, स्वागत है आपका HealthShots कैंपेन ब्रेक द बायस में। फेमिनिस्ट राइटर सिमोन द बोआर ने बरसों पहले कहा था, स्त्री पैदा नहीं होती, बनाई जाती है। उनके इस कथन का अर्थ था कि औरत होना सिर्फ उसके जेंडर के कारण चुनौती भरा नहीं है, बल्कि हमारे समाज की सोच, कंडीशनिंग, टैबूज उनके लिए इस चुनौतियां खड़ी कर देते हैं। अनफॉर्चुनेटली दशकों बाद भी हमें ये महसूस होता है कि औरत का औरत होने से ज़्यादा मुश्किल है उसका औरत समझा जाना। पर हम इस चुनौतियों के आगे डरने वाले नहीं हैं, क्योंकि हमने ठाना है कि हम हर उस बायस, हर उस टैबू को तोड़ेंगे जो एक लड़की को आगे बढ़ने से रोकता है। मिलेनियल्स की वन स्टॉप डेस्टिनेशन HealthShots इसी उद्देश्य के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है। इस कड़ी में आज हमारे साथ जुड़ी हैं मानसा। VLCC फेमिना मिस इंडिया 2020 का खिताब अपने नाम कर चुकी मानसा प्रोफेशन से मॉडल हैं और तेलंगाना राज्य की रहने वाली हैं। पढ़ने लिखने की शौकीन मानसा अब बहुत ही जल्द मिस वर्ल्ड 2021 ब्यूटी पैजेंट में इंडिया का नाम रिप्रेजेंट करेंगी। हेलो मानसा।
हाय ऐश्वर्या, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। दिस इज अ प्लेजर।
तो हमें सबसे
I'm very excited for the conversation.
तो हमें सबसे पहले बताइए कि आप खुद को कैसे डिस्क्राइब करेंगी? आपके लिए मानसा कौन है?
मेरे लिए मानसा एक बहुत ही क्यूरियस, ड्रिवन, पैशनेट और फ्री स्पिरिटेड लड़की है। I love chasing new experiences to learn, grow and become a better person. और यही एक वो मोटो है जो मुझे हर रोज ड्राइव करता है।
तो अगर हम आपके सफ़र के बारे में जानें तो एक गर्ल नेक्स्ट डोर से जो पहले फाइनेंशियल एनालिसिस्ट हुआ करती थी, मानसा वाराणसी वो कैसे बनी?
एक बहुत ही लंबा ड्रामेटिक सफ़र रहा है क्योंकि एज यू सेड मैंने पहले कंप्यूटर साइंस पढ़ा था और उसके बाद सॉफ्टवेयर में जॉब भी किया मैंने, लेकिन हमेशा मेरे अंदर एक फायर था कि मुझे और कुछ बड़ा करना है और कुछ करके दिखाना है। आई ऑलवेज वांटेड टू कनेक्ट विद अ बिगर पर्पस और यही वो इमोशन है जो मुझे मिस इंडिया की तरफ ड्राइव किया। एंड सो आई ऑडिशनड एंड देन जीता। Of course, it was after a lot of hard work and sacrifice. क्योंकि जैसे बोलते हैं कि if you want to achieve anything important, anything significant, बहुत ही ज़्यादा hard work जाता है उसके अंदर. There's a lot, and so मेरा पूरा energy उसमें डाल के I think I really surrender to the process. And मेहनत का फल मीठा होता है and I'm just so grateful कि Miss India जैसा प्लेटफॉर्म मुझे इतना ज़्यादा फ्रीडम दिया है to really pursue my passion and to meet new people, connect with new experiences. बहुत ही मैजिकल रहा है and I feel like a new person.
आपकी एजुकेशन के साथ आपका पैशन मैच नहीं करता, तो इस सफ़र में आपको किसी चुनौती का सामना करना पड़ा? किसी तरह की परेशानी आई, कोई बायसनेस, भेदभाव?
बिल्कुल, इनफैक्ट मैं बहुत ही ट्रेडिशनल फैमिली, एकेडमिक ओरिएंटेड फैमिली से आती हूँ, टिपिकल साउथ इंडियन फैमिली। और बचपन से हमेशा मेरे पेरेंट्स ने सिर्फ एजुकेशन पे स्ट्रेस किया है। स्टडी, गेट अ गुड जॉब, मैरी, यही हमेशा था मेरा फिक्स्ड प्लान। बट आई ऑलवेज न्यू दैट आई वांटेड टू डू समथिंग डिफरेंट, और इसीलिए कन्विंस करना भी एक बहुत ही बड़ा चैलेंज था घर में, टू टेल माई पेरेंट्स कि मुझे ये भी करना है लाइफ में और कुछ अचीव करना है। और स्पेशली मेरी दादी माँ, शी वॉज अ बिग she was not for my decision at all। और जब मैं ऑडिशन भी कर रही थी तो she always had a very disapproving smile and look on her face। but I think over time when you really have that passion and that drive, जो भी challenge आता है, then you know that you want to overcome it, you want to overtake it। और धीरे से मेरी फैमिली को भी समझ में आया कि मेरे अंदर वो पैशन है, and this girl knows what she's doing। I think education was the biggest thing, क्योंकि मैंने already education complete किया था। I was already an independent woman। I had joined a job, और वो इसीलिए बहुत ही easy हुआ मुझे घर में सबको समझाने में। And like you said, there are lots of stereotypes and biases as a woman that you have to face। Society कुछ बोलता है, लेकिन हमारे अंदर desires जो है वो एकदम अलग से होते हैं कभी-कभी। And I think to be able to balance that was a big challenge, but I'm very grateful to my family, मेरे friends और Miss India organization। I think एक बहुत ही अच्छा support system रहना चाहिए सबको, a good teacher, a good friend। जब ऐसे लोग होते हैं हमारे surroundings में तो हमको और ज़्यादा confidence मिलता है और belief रहता है कि हम कर सकते हैं। And I'm just very grateful to all of them।
फैमिली का सपोर्ट आपके साथ रहा, ये तो हमने जान लिया, पर तेलंगाना जैसे राज्य से आप आती हैं तो आपको इसमें कोई परेशानी हुई? क्योंकि जैसा कि हम सभी देख रहे हैं कि मतलब कई तरह की चुनौतियाँ आती हैं, क्योंकि तेलंगाना जैसे राज्य में, जैसे आपने बताया, तो कोई इंसिडेंट आपके साथ ऐसा कुछ हुआ जो आप हमारे साथ शेयर करना चाहें, जिसमें आपको लगा कि नहीं, बैकग्राउंड मेरे लिए प्रॉब्लमैटिक है या थोड़ा?
आई थिंक सबसे बड़ा चुनौती ये था कि ये एक बहुत ही अलग सा दुनिया है, राइट? देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ ग्लिट्स, ग्लैमर, हमेशा कैमरा के सामने होना, कॉल टाइम, सो मच अनसर्टेनिटी, फिक्स्ड, हर रोज अलग होता है। एंड बैक व्हेन आई वाज वर्किंग इन माय जॉब, रोज फिक्स्ड टाइमिंग था, फिक्स्ड स्केड्यूल था, इट वाज ऑल कॉमन। एंड सो आई थिंक ये बड़ा सा जंप था, एंड दिस वाज द बिगेस्ट चुनौती, व्हिच इज एम्ब्रेसिंग द कैमरा, द लाइट्स, द कैमरा, इतने सारे नए नए लोग। दैट वाज अ बिग जंप। एंड एज अ शाय गर्ल, मैं बहुत ही शाय चाइल्ड थी एज आई वाज ग्रोइंग अप। वो कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर आना वाज अ बिग चैलेंज। एंड but you know what they say about comfort zones, right? जब भी हमको ऐसे लगता है कि हम नहीं कर पाएंगे, then you have to push yourself, you have to have that inner voice कि try तो करो, what is the worst that could happen, right? You need to take that first step, and it's that inner push that kept pushing me forward, and I'm just happy that my family is on my team now।
आपके तब के और अब के रूटीन में क्या फ़र्क आया है? ब्यूटी पैजेंट के लिए आप कैसे तैयार कर रही हैं? पहले कैसी थी, अब कैसी हैं? क्या-क्या नए अच्छे चेंजेस आपने अपनाए हैं?
बहुत सारे चेंजेस आए हैं। I feel more confident as a woman। Of course, I always had that passion and that drive, but ये साल बहुत ही मैजिकल रहा है। न्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस एवरी डे, फोटो शूट्स, इतने सारे लोगों से मिलना, बच्चों से मिलना, my beauty with a purpose work, my fashion work। It's been a huge learning experience, or I think with every challenge you grow, and I feel more confident। कैमरा के सामने बात करना, नए लोगों से मिलना जुलना, I think that's been a big blessing। Apart from that, I also feel more beautiful as a person, inside and outside. ये journey में बहुत सारे trainers रहे हैं who've trained me to speak better, to look better, to groom myself better, to present myself better mentally. कभी-कभी हमारे अंदर बहुत सारे अच्छे intentions होते हैं, लेकिन उसको बाहर निकालना और actions की तरफ execute karna, right? It becomes a challenge, and so I'm grateful to my teachers and my mentors, because unhi ki wajah se I see this big difference in me. And finally, I think another big difference is just fashion. Miss India se pehle mera fashion choices bahut hi normal the, and I used to just pick that black shirt or that white shirt jo bhi tha mere cupboard mein wo pehen ke bahar nikalti thi. But I think after Miss India, I've become more conscious. What am I wearing? Kahan se aa raha hai? Is it friendly with the environment? Is it friendly? Is there a story behind the outfit? I think that way I feel more confident as well as a person. I feel more expressive कि ये मेरा personality है और ये मुझे दिखाना है बाहर.
आई एम श्योर आपकी इनसाइड और आउटसाइड ब्यूटी के लिए कोई घर का नुस्खा तो जरूर होगा, क्योंकि हम सबके अपने अपने कुछ ना कुछ टिप्स होते हैं जो मम्मी देती हैं, दादी देती हैं, जो हमारे साथ हमेशा रहते हैं. लोग उन्हें भूल चुके हैं, बट होते सबके पास हैं. तो क्या आपके पास भी कोई ऐसा टिप है, या जो आपकी मम्मी ने आपको सिखाया है या दादी ने सिखाया है?
मेरा मम्मी और मेरा दादी, आई थिंक, आर द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पीपल इन माई लाइफ. और मेरे सारे वैल्यूज़ जो है, they're all because of them. मेरा inner drive and that inner heart to do good. And I think सबसे important चीज़ जो उन्होंने सिखाया है is to just be a good human being at heart. Every day when we step out of the house, बहुत सारे लोगों से मिलते हैं, नए experiences होते हैं, लेकिन सभी experiences में हमारे roots को अच्छी तरह से ground karna, to realize that you want to make the other person that you're speaking to feel good about themselves. You want to make them feel warm, welcomed, right? And I think this is the most important thing that they've taught me, which is beauty सिर्फ दिखने में नहीं आता है. जैसे हम बात करते हैं और जैसे हमारे actions speak करते हैं, that is more important. And this is what my mom and daddy have told me, कि thinking और acting and speaking में ज़्यादा beauty होते हैं.
तो मेंटल हेल्थ को अच्छा रखने के लिए, मोटिवेटेड हर रोज फील करने के लिए खुद के साथ वक्त बिताना बहुत जरूरी होता है. खुद को जानने समझने का मौका जब आपको मिलता है तो आप मेंटली और, मुझे लगता है, स्ट्रॉन्ग फील करते हैं. तो आप अपने मी टाइम के लिए क्या करती हैं? खुद को मोटिवेटेड कैसे रखती हैं?
बिल्कुल, जैसे आपने कहा कि मेंटल हेल्थ को प्रोटेक्ट करने में there's a lot of process, right? It's not just bubble baths और अच्छे से face mask लगाना. There's so much into it, mentally, physically, spiritually. हम कैसे बात करते हैं अपने आप से. I think the inner voice in our head is very important. क्या आप खुद को encourage करते हैं? क्या आप खुद को motivate करते हैं? Right? That self-belief is important. And so what do? I just like to do a lot of fun activities. मैं बहुत ही curious लड़की हूँ. I love exploring new things, new books, new movies, new relationships, a new sport, a new game. I think I just want to extend myself. जितने भी सारे experiences I want to feel all of them. And so I love to try new things. That's how I keep ground my mental health. और उसके साथ साथ of course exercises, right? Bodily exercise. I think हमारा movement is very important. We need to keep our bodies moving, keep them active. If it's a walk or a jog or a gym, जो भी है, I think everybody has their own style of exercise, and mine is walking, jogging, and Pilates. So I think that
आपका प्यार कैसे हुआ? Like आजकल हर कोई पिलाटेस मतलब बहुत शौकीन है. तो मतलब ऐसे ही
मैंने पिलाटेस कभी नहीं किया था.
जी,
सॉरी.
मतलब ऐसे ही चुटकियों में कोई पिलाटेस अपना सकता है, या इसके लिए यू नीड टू बिल्ड अप योर कोर स्ट्रेंथ, या पहले से कुछ माइंड सेटअप करना पड़ता है?
आई थिंक पिलाटेस के लिए यू नीड अ गुड ट्रेनर बिकॉज एक मशीन रहता है, इट्स कॉल्ड अ रिफॉर्मर, और इसके लिए आपको साइन अप करना पड़ता है, एंड सो देयर इज अ प्रोसेस. बट पिलाटेस स्टार्ट करने से पहले मैं योगा बहुत ज़्यादा करती थी, एंड इवन वाइल वर्किंग इन माई जॉब बैक इन स्कूल मैं हमेशा योगा क्लासेस जाती थी, एंड आई फील लाइक योगा इज़ मोर ईजिली अडेप्टेबल इन आवर डेली लाइफ स्टाइल, क्योंकि सिर्फ मैट का ज़रूरी पड़ता है और हमारा मेंटल और फिजिकल फोकस का. सो आई थिंक योगा इज़ अ ग्रेट प्लेस टू स्टार्ट. ऑफ कोर्स शुरू में इट्स ऑलवेज नाइस टू हैव अ गुरुजी, बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स सूर्य नमस्कार तो जनरली सबको पता होता है. आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट हैव डन इट एट सम पॉइंट और द अदर इन योर लाइफ, बट योगा इज एन ओशन.
बिल्कुल, आई एम श्योर कि पहला कदम उठाना सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि आपने बस एक बार फर्स्ट स्टेप ले लिया, उसके बाद की जर्नी तो फिर आसान हो जाती है. तो खुद
और जनरली वो
अपनी
फर्स्ट स्टेप ही जनरली बहुत ही मुश्किल होता है, राइट? दैट फर्स्ट स्टेप, लेकिन वो फर्स्ट स्टेप के बाद एवरीथिंग स्टार्ट्स फॉलिंग इनटू प्लेस. वंस यू गेट इनटू द फ्लो, यू आर इन द फ्लो. बस वो फर्स्ट स्टेप है जो कभी कभी ब्लॉक करता है, लेकिन वंस यू आर ऑन द अदर साइड देयर इज नो स्टॉपिंग यू.
तो आपकी इंस्पिरेशन कौन है? हमने सुना है कि प्रियंका चोपड़ा से आप काफ़ी इंस्पायर्ड हैं, पर और भी कोई है या कोई एक्टिविटी है जिससे आप मोटिवेटेड फील करती हैं, कोई पर्सनालिटी है जिनसे आप इंस्पायर्ड फील करती हैं? क्योंकि यू आर ऑन अ मिशन. आई हैव सीन यू ऑन लाइक इंस्टाग्राम. आप कई औरतों के इंटरव्यूज करती हैं, इंस्पायर करती हैं, उनकी कहानियों को जानती समझती हैं.
बहुत सारे लोग हैं, इनफैक्ट स्पेशली इन द पास्ट ईयर इतने सारे लोग से मिलने का मौका मिला, एंड एवरीबडी राइट फ्रॉम बैक इन तेलंगाना, मेरा ब्यूटी विद अ पर्पस काम जो है, in that journey I met so many inspiring people, politicians, social workers, ये सारे inspiring बच्चे जिनके difficult past से बाहर आके you know they've really built such a nice life around them. And so I think when we speak about inspiration, I seek inspiration in all places, books, movies, people, and उनको action में देख के I think I was most inspired. I think the best way to inspire somebody is through your actions. और उनका काम देख के, उनका passion देख के काम के लिए I was blown away, and I knew that मुझे भी ऐसे बनना है. I want to be a person who is on the ground doing the real work, you know, who's putting all her energy, using her hands and her head into the right purpose. And so वैसे I met Vidya Devarajan Garu, who is the IAS officer of the Child Welfare Department, Padmavati Garu, who is the head of Kasturba Gandhi National Memorial Trust in Telangana. इसके बहुत सारे लोगों से मिलने का मौका मिला, and they've all inspired me with their amazing work. But when we speak about inspiring, of course, फिर मुझे मम्मी और दादी माँ के बारे में बात करना है, because they are the reason why I'm here. उन्हीं के वजह से मैं यहाँ हूँ. And it's their values that are inside of me, their sacrifices, their hard work. और उनका hard work देख के मुझे भी inspiration आता है कि मुझे भी double the hard work डालना है जो भी मैं करूँ. And so it's this inspiration that keeps me high. वो जोश हमेशा है, only because of them.
बिल्कुल, आपका बच्चों के प्रति लगाव देखते ही बनता है, तो कैसे चाइल्ड सेफ्टी के प्रति आप लोगों को जागरूक कर रही हैं, बच्चों की मदद कर रही हैं, तो ये सब इन सब के पीछे का कारण क्या है?
जब मैं कॉलेज में पढ़ रही थी, मैं साइमल्टेनियसली वॉलंटियर करती थी एट अ लोकल NGO. मेरे नेबरहुड में ही मेक अ डिफरेंस करके एक NGO था, और हर वीकेंड मैं शेल्टर होम को जाके बच्चों को इंग्लिश और मैथ्स सिखाती थी. एंड दिस वाज अ वेरी न्यू एक्सपीरियंस, बिकॉज मुझे एक डिफरेंट अलग तरीका का लाइफ देखने को मिला. एंड मैं हमेशा घर में कंफर्ट जोन में ही रहती थी, लेकिन जब ये वॉलंटियरिंग शुरू किया तो आई कुड सी अ डिफरेंट साइड ऑफ लाइफ. And I knew that I wanted to do something. I wanted to help any little way that I could. और बच्चों के साथ मिलके बात करना, वक्त बिताना, I think it taught me a lot about how life is so much bigger. हम जनरली हमारे छोटे छोटे प्रॉब्लम्स या डेली लाइफस्टाइल में खो जाते हैं, बट लाइफ इज सो बिग, there's so much that needs to be done, so many ways in which we can help. We have so many privileges ourselves, right? इतना freedom है हमारे हाथ में, और उस freedom को extend करने का responsibility, वो realization मुझे मिला. And so it was a beautiful time with them. और मुझे हमेशा पता था कि volunteering is one thing, लेकिन मेरी आवाज़ को एक बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म पे यूज़ करना, that is another together. And so going from that to Miss India was only a logical jump. मुझे पता था कि इसी वर्क को मुझे और मैग्नीफाई करना है और बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म में लेके जाना है. And I'm grateful because through Miss India हमने बहुत कुछ काम किया है back in Telangana in the space of child safety, जैसे आपने कहा है. Especially COVID की वजह से I think the situation has got worse. बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं जो distress में है. They're pushed into child marriage, pushed into child labor. There's just a lot of grief outside. और इनके सारे stories, they remain invisible. Nobody gets to know about them. और इसीलिए मेरा काम भी उसी के ऊपर focused है, that such children get the tools and resources. The same kind of privileges that you and I have, they also need that.
Women's Day है, तो आप हमारे दर्शकों को, मिलेनियल्स को क्या एक संदेश देना चाहेंगी जो आपके भी काम आता है, और उनसे हमारे व्यूअर्स को कैसे मदद मिल सकती है?
जी, I believe that every day is Women's Day. Right? Every day is a day to celebrate what we are proud of, what we can achieve. और if there's one thing I would like to say, it's just curiosity. You know, हमारे अंदर जब वो feeling होता है कि I want to connect, I want to try this, I want to try that, then automatically हमारा purpose जो है, inner purpose, वो realization आता है खुद को automatically. I think जब मैं when I was back in school, मुझे भी बहुत ज़्यादा confusion था कि क्या करना है बड़ा होके, what should I do, what is my purpose. But the more you try new things, the more you can realize your own worth and your own self. So my advice is to just keep pushing your boundaries, because comfort zone में रहना बहुत ही आसान है. But we need to push that. We need to push our boundaries because we are capable of so much magic, and we need to achieve it.
जी, जैसा कि आपने कहा, कंफर्ट जोन से निकलना बहुत ज़रूरी है, और वो पहला कदम उठाना बहुत ज़रूरी है जो आपको अपने आगे की जर्नी के लिए मोटिवेटेड फील कराएगा और आसान बनाएगा. थैंक्स अ लॉट मानसा, इस खास बातचीत में हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. आपका बहुत धन्यवाद. विश यू द बेस्ट.
आपको भी बहुत धन्यवाद. बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I also had a lot of Hindi practice in the process of this interview, so thank you. मेरी हिंदी उतनी strong नहीं है क्योंकि मैं दक्षिण भारत से हूँ, but बॉम्बे में 1 साल रह के I think I've picked up quite a bit. So thank you, and all my love to your viewers.
Our next category, the young content creator. Every time you have weird thoughts, feel like the world is crashing down around you, you feel, oh my God, this is it. But the good news is, it isn't the end of the world. Mental health issues are real, and it's not something that affects a chosen few. It affects everyone. This next awardee is one who chose to open up these very conversations and sort people's minds out. I'm proud to present to you a mental health expert, Divija Bhasin. Through her page Awkward Goat 3, Divija strives to create a safe space on Instagram for those who don't have a sounding board, giving simple and effective solutions for mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and general stress. Slaying it in a space that once was taboo, but now has taken center stage in our lives. Let's give it up for Divija Bhasin.
Thank you so much to HealthShots for giving me this award and appreciating all the work that I do on social media. It was quite intimidating to be talking about all of these sensitive topics like mental health, women empowerment, and general problems with our culture. Especially because I'm a therapist, people expect me to be completely non-judgmental. But the thing is, you can't really be completely non-judgmental on social media. And you do have to speak up about things that are wrong. You can't accept everything as a woman, and breaking the bias is really important. And that's why I do what I do, because to break the bias, you actually have to notice that there is a bias. And that's why I talk about these topics, so at least people are aware that these things are going on. And I think when we get appreciation for it, I think other people may also feel influenced into talking more about it, and that's what we want. We want more people to speak about these things. So thank you so much for doing this.
What's a celebration without a dash of entertainment? Well, bringing the magic of music to the She Slays Awards is our special singer Nikita Gandhi. Let's hear it from the Jugnu famed multilingual singer who's been slaying it in the music industry with her talent.
Hey guys, this is Nikita Gandhi and I'm here with my extremely talented producer, composer, musician friend Zia. His artist name is Zia. And we're so happy to be here at the She Slays Awards with you guys virtually. But still, we have two very special songs to perform for y'all. The first one is a song that I've composed called Recreational Love. And it's a song that we released together. So yeah, I'm super excited to make you guys hear that one. Sorry. 'Cause you are my recreational love. You are my recreational love. Who's gonna define me? Who's gonna find me? 'Cause you are my recreational love. 'Cause you are my recreational love. If somebody came my way and offered to steal me away, what could they possibly say to make things better than it is this way? 'Cause you are my recreational love. 'Cause you are my recreational love. And who's gonna define me? Who's gonna find me? 'Cause you are my recreational love. You are my recreational love. Yay! I'm gonna clap for us because this is a virtual. So that was Recreational Love. That's a song by us. So this is from the original artist to you guys, Nikita and Zia. And we have one more song in store for y'all, which is the newest one. It's released this month itself, and it's called Burana Mano Yara. It's again an own composition, and a lot of the song happened right here in the studio. We're at Godfather Productions, where a lot of magic happens by this guy, and a lot of amazing. We got a tape also, which is not being used right now. We're not recording this on that tape because that would be really expensive. But we are recording this for you to make it as special and dedicate to all the beautiful, amazing artists, women artists out there, because we're here to celebrate women. And we have this really special song which I wrote called Burana Mano Yara up next. Thank you so much, She Slays, for having us on your award show, and all the very best to everyone who's part of this. This one's for you. No, it's as much fun. कुछ बातें रह गई जो हम ना कह पाए, इशारे दिल से कही थे पर ना सुन पाए, कितनी रातें, अब दिल तो चाहे तुमसे मुलाकातें, बुरा ना मानो यारा, पागल दिल बेचारा, अनजाने हो खुद के ही अरमानों से दूर, गलत ना समझो यारा, तू है कितना प्यारा, चाह के भी दूरी ना सह पाए. Alright, thank you so much. This is Zia. My name is Nikita, and thanks for having us on She Slays on the Seashore. I'm sorry, that didn't work out the way we planned. But the song's name is Burana Mano Yara, so yes, don't mind. And all the best to all the amazing artists out there who've been nominated, who've won awards, and just generally all the women in music doing some amazing stuff.
Congratulations.
See ya.
Our next category is the Agent of Change category. A deep, misconstrued understanding of personal hygiene has left us far behind in keeping up with the health and overall development of especially the girl child. One person decided to change it and started empowering girls with Menstrupedia. It's one of the world's most innovative companies that teaches about menstrual cycle, its hygiene, and is helping shed any taboo along the way too. Her name is Aditi Gupta. And using storytelling as a tool through Menstrupedia comic, she has educated more than 50,000 girls and trained 10,000 educators impacting the lives of at least 13 million girls worldwide. Over 11,000 schools in India use these comic books as a part of their curriculum. The Menstrupedia comic is available in 20 languages and is used in 23 countries around the world. For slaying it and making it a global impact, we are very proud to present the She Slays Award to Aditi Gupta.
Thank you so much, HealthShots, for honoring me with the She Slay Awards. I started working on Menstrupedia because of my own experience of facing the taboo. As a young girl, getting on my periods, I was considered impure, dirty, and I would always consider myself and my body as impure during my days of menstruation. Only later to realize that menstruation, we all menstruate because this is how human race propagates. Menstruation is important because our mothers used to get their periods. We saw a huge lack of information and awareness around the subject. The subject was completely missing from the classroom text, and everybody knew that periods are something to be not talked about, but nobody knew what periods were, and that is what led to creation of Menstrupedia comic. Even today, 1.2 crore girls in our country reach puberty, and because menstruation is a taboo, there is a lot of restrictive customs that are imposed on our girls. 1 in every 4 girls start to miss out on schools during their days of menstruation. School textbook do not address this issue. Words like vagina is completely censored in our school textbook, and that is what Menstrupedia is going to change. We also teach boys about puberty, how to take care of their feelings. Those topics which parents do not want to talk about, are not comfortable, which are very essential for boys and girls when they reach puberty. Menstrupedia comic and Gulu makes it easier for them to talk about.
In a world where people judge you by your size, choreographer and influencer Karishma Chavan is adding weight to the narrative around body positivity and how. She's our next spotlight star, and let's get to know how she slays. Over to you, Nikita.
Does size really matter when it comes to dancing? If you ask me, the answer is a big no. But there are many plus-size women who are there in the industry who face this bias every day just because they doesn't look a certain type. But the big question is, ये philosophy of fatso can't dance sala आई कहाँ से? Well, no one knows. What I can say is that it's high time that we break the whole myth of this mote log dance nahi kar sakte. And that's why today we have Karishma Chauhan with us. You must have seen Karishma at many reality shows like Nach Baliye, Dance Plus, etc. And today she's here with us sharing her journey. Come, let's take a look. Hi Karishma and welcome to HealthShots.
Thank you so much, Nikita. I'm so humbled to be here actually.
Thank you. The pleasure is all ours. So first thing first, Karishma. Firstly, I really want to know कि आपने कौन सी वो age थी जिसमें you found the talent that you have for dance, and since when you have been dancing?
I think it was at a very young age because I used to watch one of my aunts dance for her college fest, and I used to be enthusiastically looking at them and trying to copy their steps. So this must have been around probably when I was probably 5 or 6 years old that I was, inclined towards it. I also did a few choreographies when I was in school as a part of my dance group, which with my girls and with my, best friends around over there. So I used to even choreograph over there. I should be participating in these extravagant sports cum dance events as well. So at a very young age, from probably 6 maybe.
That's great. So Karishma, it's been like quite some time that you are there in the profession, and you must have come across those people who say कि आप मोटे लोगों के लिए dancing and choreography is not the right profession maybe. So have you ever come across somebody like this in your life?
Oh, plenty. I mean, it started at a very young age for me when it came to understanding what the industry required for me to be a so-called insider or taken in to the industry. I joined Chamak as a student when I was 12 years old, and I was completely enamored by the entire experience. I really wanted to become a choreographer. The moment I walked in, I was like, this is it. This is where I find happiness. This is where I find my peace. And this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. But, harsh reality was the fact that I probably did not look the part even at that moment of time, where, he was very, not, I wouldn't say, let's say particular about, how his dancers looked at that moment of time. I did not fit in. I used to get calls for company auditions left, right, and center all the time because I was a good dancer. The instructors used to always place me center for performances, but I never made it to company, which I really wanted to become, because I thought that was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to dance or be a part of Shamak Dawar's dance company, and it never happened. And I think in a backhanded way, it just worked out better for me. Because I went on to do so many other things, as a professional. If I stuck to the company, probably I wouldn't have done that much more. But then I guess it worked out for me. Having said that, at 12 years old, when you have someone telling you that you can't do something, it can be very impactful on a kid's mind. So it did have that kind of impact on me. I used to have, nightmares when I have conversations with him, and saying that, I'm telling you, I'm good enough, but please take me. And those moments were very, disheartening, I would say. But then it pushed me further and further to understand, what I guess that it was what was required by him and his company at that moment of time. It wasn't probably a progressive mindset then. And you had to accept it for what it is. Like, it's like getting into school. If you have to be following rules of a particular school, you can't be the odd one out. So I guess those were the rules back then, and I had to respect that. But I obviously, when I had to join the industry again, it was the same thing. Bollywood is also a superficial industry to a large extent, and you had to conform to those rules. So when I wanted to join the industry, I had to lose approximately 26 kilos to be a part of the industry. So I did that, and I found that was the only way in, to look apart. So I did, and I joined, and it's not only when I was thin. When I was thin also, I was called fat. So I never knew where I was going wrong at that moment of time, because I was still looking the part, and I was still, being probably teased or told, oh, you're so heavy to lift, in spite of being 60 kilos, stuff like that. So it continuously happened at that moment of time, and believe me, it happens till date.
So, but you think, Karishma, that people have been labeled and stereotyped for a certain block. So, have you, and at times it also creates a sense of biasness. Have you ever faced any bias when it comes to the industry or the kind of work you do?
Bias, yes, in terms of the opportunities that would probably come my way. I think people still look for a conventionally good-looking human being, and that is by default. They would rather, it's how you're projected, when or what value you bring in projection. Like if you are conventionally good looking, you are appealing to majority eyes, of how people look at you, probably even the male gaze to a large extent of how they would find you acceptable to be beautiful. These things are a part of the superficial, aspect of the industry. But I think I have stuck to let my work speak louder than my body. And I think that has been my motto, and it has been my principle. That is one of the reasons why I have survived, so far till date. So I make sure that I am giving it my 150% at my job. I make sure I bag my next job at my, the job that I'm currently on. So I work like that. I give it my best, and that's worked for me. So yes, there is a bias for sure. I mean, even when it comes to auditioning for roles right now, sometimes okay, you've got a cute face, you're chubby. Let's try, let's audition for you for a role maybe. And then I said, okay, what is the role? It's a food blogger, and I'm like, wow, that's just so typical. Why would you put a? That's just ridiculous. Like, aren't food bloggers supposed to be, can be any size, any shape? Why are you associating it with a size? Stuff like that. So it just becomes, I think we're just not getting past that fat people are a certain way. They attach a personality type to your body size. Fat people are termed as lazy, unambitious, not very intelligent, don't know what they want, facing probably issues of depression. That is why they eat. Stuff like that. And I think those things are still so ingrained that if you are fat, there's something wrong with you. But you could be a perfectly thin person and still have something wrong with you, physically and mentally. So just because your exterior looks okay does not mean you are okay. And I think we need to get past that.
So, Karishma, you have talked about and you have mentioned how the superficial aspect of our industry has also made you lose certain opportunities as well because you don't look a certain kind. Does it ever hampered you mentally, emotionally, in any which way?
I would be lying if I said it didn't. I would be, because that's just human reaction to any kind of rejection. But over a period of time, I've learned that rejection is a pattern of my existence, and I've only come out stronger each time. So I wait for that moment of being strong again. Yes, it does affect me. In terms of, I would probably be thinking about it for maybe a couple of days, contemplating as to why certain things have not worked out. But then I think I overcome it, and I probably have always looked at my glass, half full each time. So that thought process just pushes me further and says, you know what, something better is definitely going to come. So don't worry, this is just one setback. You're made for other things, you're made for different things. Maybe this is not your path, and let's move on. So I have to constantly tell myself that, and believe me, it has worked. It does work. I'm creating my own path, as long as it doesn't have to be the peak of things, or the talk of the town, or anything of that sort. I just need to be happy with what I'm doing at that moment of time, and I'm good.
No, absolutely. And trust me, you are doing wonderfully well. We really like the kind of work that you are doing. You're welcome. So, Karishma, another thing is that you have been vocal about body positivity on social media. And you have been talked about that it is not just about your body, but what's there inside. That also matters a lot. So, how do you think that creating awareness on social media? How can you actually break this bias of कि मोटे लोग भी डांस कर सकते हैं और मोटे लोग भी या फुलर लोग भी जो है इस प्रोफेशन को चूज कर सकते हैं?
Absolutely, I think that should be a constant process. So when I dance, now this is something that I'm sharing, not that I don't share with anybody else, but when I dance, I am a dancer from the very beginning. So I have learned to use my body weight at whatever size I am, and I have yo-yoed in weight. Okay, it is about having the right control over your body and able to manage your body weight with what dance style you're doing, or form you're doing, or anything that you're doing. As long as you're physically fit when it comes to working out, and when it comes to exercising your body regularly, eating the right food, you are capable of dancing at irrespective of whatever size you are, and not only that, whatever age you are. So it has nothing to do with you being fat. It has how fit you are keeping yourself in that current state, whether you are 60 kilos, 120 kilos, 130 kilos, whatever it may be. How actively you are keeping your body motivated every day to work out, to eat a certain way. Like if you come to my house, you see me eat, I'm mostly eat ghar ka khana. I'm not I eat outside food. मैं झूठ नहीं बोलूँगी. Of course I indulge it because I'm human. I'm not a diet person, but yes, I have my balanced diet at home. I definitely make sure I work out 4 to 5 times a week at the gym. So these things are crucial, and if I'm keeping myself fit, मैं नाच सकती हूँ. So if it's anybody who does that for your body will be able to dance irrespective of thin or fat. That needs.
So Karishma, my last question to you is, as you are a choreographer and it is not at all an easy task, so how do you keep yourself fit?
I make sure I have a balanced diet. I do not sleep very well. Sleep is an issue for me when it comes to I think I have a very active mind. That's one of the reasons why I don't sleep very easily. But I think sleep also plays a huge factor in keeping yourself, fit, and just being alert, and keeping your physical self being stronger and more accepting of just a daily life activity. So yes, sleep also should happen, but I don't sleep that much. And I definitely go to the gym. So I make sure I love my gym. I found my love for weights again. And I love working out. I love going and challenging myself. So I make sure that there is a fitness routine attached to me, even if it doesn't have to be dance. Dance, unfortunately, I don't do every day. I'm not an everyday dancer. I mean, if people think, oh, you're a choreographer, you dance morning to evening. Nahi, मैं सुबह उठ के सुबह से शाम नहीं choreograph करती. That also notion that I want to break is that choreography is not about dancing from morning to evening. Choreography is a very mental process. You need to be not only doing dance moves, you need to create an entire atmosphere which you see either on stage or screen. That is called choreography. It is not only steps. So I'm not jumping up and down every day, but that of course I incorporate as and when I get motivated. And I think artistry is about that, is to feel motivated enough to get up and create something. You can't be a person who is creating beautiful art if you're just jumping up and down every day. It's not possible. You have to think over it. You have to feel it. Once you feel it, it'll come out naturally. So yes, I love those moments also when I get highly motivated to get up and dance, and I do it. And I love those moments, and I love to teach those moments to other people as well. So yes, so it's a combination of my gym, it's a combination of my dancing, it's a combination of my diet as well.
Great, that is fantastic. So Karishma, the theme for this year's Women's Day is breaking the bias, and of course you are, one of the contributors that you are actually breaking the bias when it comes to the entire thinking of मोटे लोग डांस नहीं कर सकते. So one message that you want to send out to all those girls जो अपने आप को शायद restrain करती होंगी that oh my god, लोग क्या कहेंगे, I am so fuller looking, I am so bulky, and if I'll dance I'll look a certain way. So one message that you want to send across for those girls.
There will be a lot of people along your way telling you what you should do, how you should do it, when, how. And I think we do that most with women. We tell women how to behave, how to conduct themselves. and these things are very impactful on a person's mind. But if you understand, and it only comes with time, it comes with maturity, that no matter what people say, I'm not saying don't listen, but sift it in your head to understand what you want to take from it and what you want to let go. If you believe that you are unhappy with your current state, please change. Don't do it because somebody else is asking you to change. You should be, physically or mentally unhappy with what you are. Only then understand that it needs to be changed. But if somebody else keeps telling you, yes, listen, but not too much, not too much at all. You, as women of this country, are, believe me, I've met such amazing women, throughout my life. Each one better than the other, one path breaking than the other, and it just, I just am waiting for that revolution where women will just say, no, I'm done. I'm waiting for that, and where we conduct our lives exactly the way we want to conduct it, with that much independence, with that much surety, with that much intelligence. And believe me, we can rule the world. So I'm waiting for that moment for the women of our country, and if I can contribute to that in any way, in any mental, changing way, I'm more than happy to do so. Don't worry about your bodies. Your bodies will change throughout your life. And women as bodies keep changing, with so much that we go through with our, menstrual cycles, our menopause, and our hormones that play such a huge factor. We are definitely path-breaking bodies, and we need to accept that. So go ahead, go follow your dreams, and believe me, you can create wonders.
That's a wonderful thought, Karishma, and thank you for sharing this message. I hope जो भी आज हम लोगों को देख रहा है and सुन रहा है, they will, take it as a literal takeaway that, let's see beyond what you look like.
Absolutely, it's beyond this shell, definitely.
So thank you, Karishma, for being there with us today and sending out such a beautiful message.
Most welcome. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, and have a great day, and all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Nikita.
Thank you. So that was Karishma Chauhan. So ladies, just remember one simple thing. Whatever size you are, it doesn't really matter, because you are born to slay.
Our next category is the Green Warrior Award. From the written word to connecting with the environment and building a greener ecosystem, this journalist turned ecopreneur went down every path to find solid solutions to waste management and growing pollution in the city she grew up in, Bangalore. Her name is Vani Murthy. Vani soon figured people were simply disconnected with what's happening in their surrounding. That's when she got together with like-minded green volunteers and set up a highly advanced and end-to-end zero-waste SWM system for her community. And then she went on to find what is called Endlessly Green, a company which gives well-crafted and sturdy composters for both home and community composting purposes. An attempt she hopes will change the city's health for the better. I'm so happy to present the She Slays Award to Vani Murthy from HealthShots in association with 94.3 Radio 1.
Hello. Thank you so much, Radio 1 International and HealthShots, for giving me this award, She Slays Award, the first edition. Feel very proud getting it. And of course, the hashtag being break the bias. Yeah, absolutely. I think my own growth was seen only after I broke my own bias and broke out of the cocoon and went ahead and explored things that I would never have ever done before. So I think that's so important for every woman out there to break the bias, what you see all around, within you and outside you, and let nothing stop you from getting what you want to be, and also grow the way you need to grow, organically, beautifully, and forever, and be these superhumans on this planet, because everything revolves around women, and we need to be that powerful and empowered people that could make a huge difference to not just our families but to the world around. Thank you so much once again, Radio 1 International and HealthShots, for conferring this award to me.
Our next category is Change Maker through cinema. Cinema and its long-lasting impact is best understood by those who've been successful in sending out strong messages through subtle storylines. One such name in the entertainment industry is film producer Guneet Monga. Her production company Sikhya Entertainment also has films like the franchise of Gangs of Wasipur, Masan and Zuban in its repertoire too. One of the more recent achievements has been for the film Period, The End of a Sentence.
Hi, this is Guneet Monga, and this Women's Day, I do want to say that there is definitely bias. I think it's important to acknowledge the bias, and only then one can recognize it and talk about it. I do want to say that the only way I feel one can break it is by celebrating more women. And this is not just a message to men or a certain section of the community, but this is a message to everyone, and more than anything, women. I think if more women celebrate each other, that is what is going to make us in a safer space, that each one of us have enough and more job opportunities for ourselves, for each other. The more we celebrate each other, the more the community will grow, the more doors will open for overall as a community. So I really want this to be loud and clear, that we are not each other's competition, we are each other's companion. And that is something that matters the most to me, and that is a message that I'd love to give to everybody. Also, thank you so much for the award. She slays. I'm really looking forward to it. All the best.
If people rise by lifting others, actress Rajsri Deshpande touches new heights every day. Away from the arc lights, the sacred games and fame game, actress works on ground for rural development and community building to empower villagers and villages to be self-sufficient through her NGO Nabhangan Foundation. Come, let's watch how she slays.
On my show today, a She Slays special. Well, she is very special too. And she has been slaying it all along for quite a few years in Bollywood. I am talking about an actress par excellence, Rajsri Deshpande. Come to think of the work she's done in the industry, whether it is Angry Indian Goddesses, to Sacred Games, to most recently Fame Game, Rajsri has cemented her place in the industry as one of the finer actresses we have in today's day and age. Rajsri on the show with me today. So nice to have you, Rajsri.
Thank you so much for calling me, Annie. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Rajsri, like you know, we also have the She Slays Awards. We've got a few categories, 8 to 9 categories, where we have, acknowledged and appreciated women who've tried to bring about a huge change, especially in areas that have been such a taboo. Let's begin with your journey. Your journey has been very difficult. You haven't had a godfather in an industry which is considered very risky and not necessarily safe, especially for women to enter the industry when you don't know anybody in the industry. So how has it been for you? Because it's close to what, more than a decade and a half now?
No, not more than a decade actually. But yeah, honestly, around 7 years.
Right.
In the industry, properly started working in the in front of the camera. Before that, of course, theater was there, and before that, advertising was there. Before that, law was there. So yeah, like kind of I've
Wow.
reconstructed my life to find a path for myself, which I'm still walking and which I'm still exploring, because I believe that one needs to keep learning and evolving. So to find new ways. Why not? So so that's how, and of course, my journey was not easy, but I feel that I think every human being's journey is not easy, and especially when it comes to women, then a little more difficulty in that. Because we are born with so many other things which we have to deal with. So yeah, it was quite a hustling and a volatile way. So I had to find a way from all of that to find something which I really love to do. So acting happened with that.
That is so cool. But when did you find the confidence that, despite the volatility and despite the fact that you may not have enough people to fall back on, but you were being recognized for your good work. So I'm sure along the way your self-esteem and confidence started building. Were there people involved, or were there projects that came your way that gave you that kind of confidence?
See, Annie, initially when I moved from advertising to acting, it was a decision. Like one fine day I decided that I'm not happy what I'm doing. And my joy was theater. My joy was performing, dancing. My joy was mimicking, So I just suddenly took that decision, and I decided to get into a very unpredictable space. Of course, everyone was thinking that, why are you doing this? You are settled, and you have taken this decision to get into a world which is like for a lot of people think that, and especially who's not from film industry, they do have a little this thing. They want to acknowledge the actors, acknowledge the people behind, like in front of in their television set, but they think that, oh no, this is not the world for you. This is a curricular activities. And you have to make them understand that it's not a curricular activities. It is a profession. It is something which people can do it and earn money. So I had to kind of come out of my tier 3 city world and make them understand, especially my parents, that whatever move I have taken, I thought about it, and one needs to think about it honestly, because if you want to really get into this, then you have to study. You have to, you cannot just go there and say that, oh, okay, I want to just be there and then go through the hustle. I think one needs to prepare ourselves. So, though I was a little late, not in my teens, not in my 20s, but in my 30s, I came to the film industry. Maybe that teens and my education and my working in the industry, working in the on field has taught me a lot. In my teens also, if I wanted to come here, I thought, and in fact, all my family also feels that education is important. So they said, oh, you're going here, but do you know anything about it? Because you're not in touch with the thing. I said, I will learn on my way. So you just support me, and I will make sure that whatever decision I'll take, I will take sensibly. So fortunately, it was difficult for me to make them understand, but the kind of choices I started making, and I'm making them understand the choices, making them understand the world, because the creativity world is something, I feel it needs to be explained to other person. Like I had to explain my who is maybe not aware of the world of Ismat Chuktai or aware of the world of literature. There are a lot of literature,
correct,
which is not gone to the tier 2 or tier 3 city, which is there, but maybe a lot of people are not aware of it. So I made them understand about things, and then they started understanding, okay, it's so good. Oh, this happens. Oh, that happens. So they also started walking along with me, exploring the whole world with me, exploring the literature and film world with me.
Rajsri, what would you like to say to the women who want to enter Bollywood, for instance? Everybody is in awe of the glamour and the fame that this industry offers. But I think we also need to consider a lot many other factors before stepping into the industry. And if there are failures, they're not to be taken as failures, but stepping stones. So what is one thing you'd like to generally speak to all the women out there?
I think I must have answered this before only, that if you want to get into the Indian film industry, because Bollywood is just with Hindi, but n number of things are there. So in the film industry, then one needs to work on their craft. One needs to keep exploring. One needs to make their own family understand what they are doing and take them into consideration. Like basically, let the exploration happens along with your people, so they understand your journey, your hustle. Because if you have a support from your loved ones, then the journey becomes a little easier. Because journey is actually very, very difficult. You will have to go through lots of obstacles, lots of ups and downs, lots of competition, lots of any number of things, along with the joy, because films are joy. Creative world is a very beautiful place, but one needs to consider that you will have to go through all these things and pass on. So stay strong, keep learning, keep your loved ones close to you, and explore the whole world. And yeah.
So sweet.
That's it.
On 94.3 Radio 1 in association with HealthShots, we have come up with the She Slays Awards. We have about 8 to 9 categories. Each one has done something extraordinary in a space which we haven't been very comfortable with, especially in our country, in India. And women have taken the initiative to, communicate to people about menstrual hygiene, for instance, body positivity. And those are categories we have of, awards. Trendsetter, trailblazer, change maker through cinema. There are so many of these categories. They keep inspiring every other woman and man, for that matter. It's not just the women, but even the men are getting inspired with how brave these women have been to try to put it out there, things that are supposed to be very normal and natural, even when it comes to conversations, but we are not having these conversations. And then, of course, when it comes to overall health also, physical as well as mental health. What do you have to say to these women?
First of all, it's so amazing to have all these categories, because imagine, look at the name. They're so good. Trailblazer, change maker, innovative, green warrior. I want all of them in my life. That's the first thing I want to do. Yeah, I as you just mentioned, I was just going through their work. It's so amazing. Oh my God, I'm so proud of all of them. I'm so proud, and I feel so honored that to know that such people are exploring and trying to do something for our society, trying to create something which they believe, and inspiring so many people. In the the previous generation may not realize that it's harming their mental health.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that such subjects are coming out and people are talking about it, and making them understand that don't do this. How are you going to talk to a person how are you going to respect each other? What kind of a conversation should happen in a house? Even with your own people, how a brother and a sister should talk to each other
Right.
if it's there, how a husband and wife should see each other with even with the body positivity. And along with that, you were just telling me about the menstrual hygiene. It's so important because a lot of times there are a little bit of intricacies we don't know about it. How do we keep the intimate area hygiene? How do we take care of ourselves with the menstrual cycle? So it's very, very important. And like you were just telling about the green warrior, or the change maker through cinema. It's important what we are making, how we are showing the world that how sensitive the characters are, how we are portraying people in front of all of us, how LGBTQIA people are portrayed, and how sensitively the subjects have been handled. Everything is so important, and the change will only happen, Annie, when all these people come together. So thank you so much for doing this. And I want everyone in my life. We're going to make sure that I get to talk to everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Inspiring words and words of motivation coming from Rajsri Deshpande for all our winners of the She Slays Awards. Rajsri, Nabhangan Foundation, you realize that back in rural areas, and in many rural areas, because there are I think our rural population is much larger than our urban population, and there are still so many, flaws we have, and so many different weaknesses we have that we've got to plug. And unless people from the metropolitan cities, or who have seen the difference between rural and metropolitan cities, do not carry it back to them, we will not see any improvement or growth or evolution happen for them either. You've done that through Nabhangan Foundation. So tell us more about, how many years since you started this? I remember the first time we spoke about it was right when you had started it in the first year. This was quite a few years ago, at least 4 years ago. So tell us how it has grown in 4 years.
Yeah. See, I've been working for villages from past 8 years now. But of course, my first work was on water, and then later on I thought that, oh, this is it, I've done it. And then I realized, oh no, actually I cannot just say that I have changed the whole thing. And then later on I kept on working and working and working and working, because then I realized that till the time I'm not consistent, the change won't happen. I cannot just touch upon things and I said that, okay, I have done it. No, I was completely wrong. I had to find, that what exactly is going on in the villages. I had to research the whole thing. I had to plan my way that how I'm going to work ahead. The whole planning has gone through. There is a whole pie chart had made that this is how I will go, step by step. And I'll get all of them together, empower them in such a way that one village at least gets empowered completely, and then the village will take care of on their own, because I don't want them to be dependent on me all the time. I want them to kind of understand the whole system of how to even work with the government, how to even deal with the villagers, how to even deal if there is anything happens. So that's how my first village I worked on: water, sanitation, healthcare, women community center, and the school. So that was my first model. And it was a very difficult journey because I was also learning, I was also making mistakes, I was also exploring. I was also trying to understand that, am I doing sustainable, or am I just touching upon something? So that's how first village happened, and then later on, like, it's called Pandri village. Then later on, Pandri village people became my pillar of strength, and they started helping me with other villages as well. So in pandemic, we worked with 30 more villages like that.
Wow.
And now I have 30 more villages with me, where all the youngsters from the same village is part of Nabhangan. And we identify the issues on ground. Like some villages have water, but don't have a proper school, then we see that, is government working on it? How much time it's going to take? And in case if it's going to take a lot of time, if they are not able to facilitate that, then we make sure that, okay, Nabangan will step in. So that's the journey of Nabangan.
On the show with me today, Rajsri Deshpande, a fine actress, and she has given us beautiful words for the awardees of She Slays Awards, brought to you by 94.3 DD1 and HealthShots. Rajsri, are you ready for this?
No, but yes. Let's do it.
Okay, if you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
I don't want to buy any food. I just want to gulp the puran poli, which my aunt has just made. So yeah, that's what I want to just do it right away.
If you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
That's a confusing, because I want to be every animal, and honestly, with my characters, I look at animals as a character. Like, sometimes I'm a cat, sometimes I'm a particular dog, or I'm a lion, or I am a peacock. So I identify myself with different animals and different characters. But yeah, I think every animal have something. I love animals, and I love
got a mixed animal spirit. So cool. Okay, who's your favorite superhero and why?
Oh God, I just don't have one answer for everything. I'm so bad at this. But honestly, no. I think every common man, common woman who's dealing with life and hustling in their life and finding way, and in all of that, being happy is my superhero. So in the R.K. Lakshman says, common man. So yeah.
Wow,
it's
very nice, very very nice. If a movie was to be made of your life, what genre would it be, and would you play you?
I really don't know, and I don't know what genre it will be, because my life is a lot of times comedy, horror, a lot of times emotional. Yeah, it will be a mix of everything. And seeing the whole Hindi film industry, I think they will cast some superstar. They will say no, you're not a star category. So maybe no, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. There should be a movie on me, because I believe that there are so many stories are yet to be discovered. There are so many inspiring stories are there, and their stories needs to be made. Mine should be last one.
Oh, you're being very modest. Yeah. But you have come a long way, a really long way. I must say that about you. Okay, if you could be any flavor of ice cream, what ice cream would you be?
The seasonal one, of course, a mango. So yeah,
the sweetness of mango, which you definitely have. Okay, if you were to go anywhere in the world right now, which place would you tick off on your bucket list?
Right now, I wanted to go to Venice. I just wanted to go to Venice. But yeah, somewhere in the mountains. I love mountains, so yeah.
Nice. So there's mountains. Venice and there's mountains also. Very good. Are you a morning or a night person?
I'm a morning person.
Okay. What is one thing that annoys you the most?
Negativity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like positive.
Nice. What is the strangest thing you've eaten?
Once I was in Bastar, in Chhattisgarh, they had given me a chapda chutney, which was like ant ki chutney. So yeah, I was like, okay, I don't know what it is, but yeah, so that was it.
What?
Thing,
oh my God, it's really strange.
Yeah, but it's very famous and over there in the Bastar area. Bastar area is in Chhattisgarh, Raipur, and so they have all these festivals over there where they make saka, like a local liquor, and they have these all the tribal women. They come and they sell all these tribal stuff. So they had made something like this, which they usually make in the house, because maybe a lot of times in these rural belt, the vegetables are not there.
Correct.
So they don't have any choice, and they go through. They make all these things. So yeah, they made this chutney.
Oh my God, you're saying this
Which
was
I
an
felt
hand
very-
chutney, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's called chapra chutney,
Amazing.
something like that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your favorite movie? If I have to ask you about your favorite movie.
Is it the Indian one or the
Give me one of
any
each,
other?
one international, one Indian.
Recently, I watched a film called A Hero by Abbas Kiarostami, and each and every frame is just I can't I can't forget. It's a beautiful film. It's a very heart-wrenching film. That's Iranian film, and if I call it a Hindi film, then I love Garam Hawa. That's another favorite film of mine, and I keep watching that whenever I I don't know if I'm in any situation. As I love Garam Hawa. I love Iranian films. I love Mohsin Makhmalbaf's films. It's called Kandahar or The President. So yeah, couple of them.
So cool. Okay, what is it that you're looking forward to in 2022, Rajsri?
Oh, 2022 is amazing. We will be finishing one school in a tribal village. So I'm looking forward to that because the kids are lovely and they're really excited to see the new school. Then there is a water work which is happening in one of the village. That planning will start now. And lots of trees is going to plant during monsoon because that's the time the trees should be planted. And a lot of work, community work will happen in this year. So that's my real life. In my real life, I'm going to start an amazing show. I won't be able to tell you what, but it's a very beautiful and a very sensitive character which I'm going to portray next. So I'm preparing for that. And I had shot for another series last year, which is a very, very important topic. And I'm very honored to portray her on screen. Again, I won't be able to tell you who, but once you see it, you will love it. You will say that, oh my God, this story is so important. And thank God somebody is telling this. So I'm very honored and glad to be part of this, and I really thank all the makers. So that is something going to come in this year. And like 2-3 I've done independent films which hopefully will travel in the festival circuit.
Nice,
so
very, very nice. So cool, you're packed with work. Can we expect a Fame Game season 2 by any chance? Will the ACP also return? Is there anything happening on those lines? Oh my God. You cannot reveal.
Shobha.
What about these embargoes? What are these embargoes?
Shobha and Anamika. Let's see what happens.
So cool, but we've loved you
I
in
really don't
Fame
know.
Game. We've loved you in everything. Ishmat Chugtai to, of course, Sacred Games and Angry Indian Goddesses and so many other films and roles and series you've done. But great work.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And thank you.
Thank you so much for being in the industry, for inspiring other women, and for doing the good work that you're doing in villages. 30 villages, that's a big number. Thank you once again, and all the best. absolute pleasure for us at HealthShots, in association with 94.3 Radio 1, to acknowledge and honor these women of power in their respective fields. As Helen Keller, the famed author and disabled rights activist, once said, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." We're confident we'll be back with another edition of the She Slays Awards to honor many more women achievers. Thank you for being with us in this enlightening and empowering ride. This is me, radio host Annie, signing off. Bye-bye.